Oklahoma City firefighters put out an overnight house fire on the northwest side of the metro. I'm Colby Thielen. What fire crews told us on the scene coming up. Plus this. Family of a former law enforcement officer says that he was failed by the system. Coming up, we're going to talk to the family. We'll show you what they had to say.
Big time wind in the forecast today. Winds 35, 45, gusts to 60. We'll talk about the timeline and the high to extreme fire danger coming up.
Live from downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma's own News 9 starts now.
Good Tuesday morning. Glad you're with us this morning. We got a lot to talk about, including wildfire danger.
Yeah.
It's back right now, Lacey.
It is. The winds have been strong overnight.
Yeah.
So you kind of might have noticed driving in this morning, the skies are a little hazy. There's already kind of some blowing dust and debris, but the winds pick up drastically once the sun comes up, and that could fuel fires very rapidly. If they get started, today's one of those days. If fires don't get started, it's a warm, windy day.
It's so dry. The rain over the weekend, it put a dent in.
Negligible,
yeah, exactly.
Honestly,
It didn't really help. Yeah.
It would have taken several inches of rain to kind of put a damper on things. When the wind picks up and the dormant vegetation is around, it zaps the moisture at the surface level quickly, and that's already happened. So we are primed today for the potential for some pretty big fires. Yesterday, the winds weren't crazy, and we did have several wildfires. This was one fire that Val and Amy Castor were on. This was up to the west of Guthrie. Did not lose any structures in that fire, but at times these flames were billowing up, burning the big cedar trees. Big problem in Oklahoma, and those go up very quickly, almost explode. So today's the day. Be prepared. I want to show you the winds today. They're going to ramp up not just in Oklahoma, but if you're traveling, going to ramp up and down the plains. Take it back to links now, and I'll show you from the west back to the east. Big time wind gusts, anywhere from 45 to 50, and up and down the western plains. Winds will gust out of the west close to 60 miles per hour. So after 10 a.m., winds pick up 20, now 30-mile-an-hour gusts will be the average in the metro. Not completely out of control. Some isolated gusts to 40, but you get back into our western counties, 50, 55, and again, gusts to 60 in the panhandle. So moderate to high to extreme wildfire danger. Humidity drops down less than 10%. This is a big potent storm system. On the north side and back to the west, there's blowing snow, blizzard warnings, and wind advisories are already posted for the Sooner State. Winds right now are about 10 to 20. It is 60 degrees as you head out. Winds are gusting close to 30 in the metro. We're close to record warm lows, and this afternoon close to record highs. Colby forecasting a high of 79. Your statewide wind timeline is coming up.
All right, Lacey. Thank you. The Oklahoma Forestry Service has crews staged in western Oklahoma right now, in Woodward and in Guyman up in the Panhandle. This is all in advance of that critical wildfire threat that Lacey was talking about. This will allow extra help in those areas if wildfires do spark. We saw that play out with widespread wildfires across the state last March. Despite the rising wildfire risk, there is only one county burn ban right now, and it's down in Cotton County. Of course, that may change throughout the week. We'll be following. But right now, county commissioners use specific criteria to decide when to declare a burn ban. A statewide burn ban may be called by the governor, but some lawmakers are looking at clarifying those issues and issuing those burn bans when they're dealing with a wildfire risk. Talking about Senate Bill 1550, which would authorize county commissioners to consult the Commissioner of Agriculture to determine whether conditions pose a significant threat to public safety. It would allow them to bypass some of the criteria needed to issue a burn ban. The bill passed through the committee and now moves for consideration onto the Senate floor. We'll be following. Now to the southeast side of Oklahoma City, police are investigating an officer-involved shooting. This happened right near Southeast 89th and Sooner, right around 6 o'clock last night. Police say officers responded to a disturbance call about a man who was shooting at people. Police tell us officers confronted that armed suspect who refused to put down the weapon. The officer fired his gun, hitting the suspect. Officers then went inside the home where they say the suspect previously barricaded himself, and they found another man dead. It's still unclear, they say at this point, how that man died, but police are investigating his death as a probable homicide.
We get called to these situations sometimes and don't know what's going to happen, and sometimes we're faced with split-second decisions, and it's unfortunate to have to go through this, whether you're involved in it somehow or if you're an officer.
The suspect has been taken to the hospital. No word on his condition at this point. The officer who shot him is now on routine administrative leave. Law enforcement takes a man into custody who they say ran from them during a traffic stop. Oklahoma Highway Patrol troopers pulled a man over yesterday afternoon. This was near Chandler. They say he ran. We're told law enforcement had a drone in the air trying to spot him. You can see footage of the helicopter there. This was just after 4:30 p.m. He was later arrested. No word yet on why troopers pulled him over in the first place. Oklahoma City Police right now are searching for a suspect following a stabbing in the front yard of a home. This happened around 10 yesterday morning right near Southwest 36th and Penn. Police say the suspect left the scene. No suspect information so far is available, and there's no word on the victim's condition, but we will be following. A long list of complaints against a man arrested following an hours-long standoff with police. Police say Philip Beauchot assaulted and threatened to kill a woman inside a home near Northwest Expressway in Council. This was on Sunday morning. She did make it out, but Beauchot remained inside the home with 3 children. The tactical team eventually went into that home and arrested Beauchot. He was booked on kidnapping and assault complaints. The children were found safe. Shock and frustration for a Metro family after learning the woman convicted of a DUI crash that badly injured a 20-year-old is set to be released after only serving 70 days in jail. Investigators say Sarah Polston was twice the legal limit when she crashed her car into Michaela Borrego. This was back in 2023. Michaela suffered a traumatic brain injury and spent months relearning how to speak and walk. Polston, who was sentenced to 8 years in prison, qualifies for release under state law that allows first-time, nonviolent offenders to get out after only 30 days.
This is not someone who just stole a car or someone who possessed drugs. This is someone who almost killed a vibrant 20-year-old.
There's no repercussion, there's no real justice. It's just loopholes and pivoting and maneuvering.
The district attorney and Michaela's family are now pushing the Department of Corrections not to release Polston. She is, though, expected to be released on Thursday. A big task for state lawmakers this year is all about data centers. Several proposed bills have been filed this year to change regulations for this growing industry. News 9's Matt McCabe shares which proposals are moving quickly at the state capitol.
Early Monday morning, a bipartisan group of 9 state representatives voted to pass House Bill 3917 out of a subcommittee.
This would make sure that regular ratepayers aren't having to pay for those really high energy costs, and the surcharge would be put into a dedicated fund that would go toward grid modernization.
Its author, Oklahoma City Democratic State Representative Mickey Dollins, knows that several of his colleagues have put up proposals for similar pieces of legislation.
It's not too often you have something that passes unanimously with bipartisan support, but I think that really speaks to this issue of how many Oklahomans are talking about data centers and protecting our water and making sure that people, especially on fixed incomes, aren't paying more than their fair share.
Across the state, the issues of data center development has touched communities ranging from places like Yukon, Stillwater to Claremore.
Finding new water for the city of Yukon is not just about the data center. It's actually a 50 to 100 year plan that the city needs to provide water for its residents.
The concern for what happens if all those projects come online continues to drive conversations about the current capabilities of the state's power grid. In Oklahoma City, Matt McCabe, Oklahoma's Own News 9.
Now, just last week, the city of Yukon clarifies that it still has not made what it calls a done deal with a data center to be built right there in city limits, saying many obstacles still sit in front of that idea. We will be following. Hollywood fans across the country, they're remembering the life of Oscar-winning actor Robert Duvall. His legacy also lives right here in Oklahoma. Duvall, who is known for his roles in The Godfather and Lonesome Dove, was honored by the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. In 2021, he was awarded the museum's Lifetime Achievement Award.
The English have Shakespeare, the French have Molière, and the Russians have Dostoevsky. What do we own? What do we have? The Western.
A legend, Duvall appeared in more than 100 movies throughout his career. He was 95 years old. Of course, Tom Hagen, the role in The Godfather that really put him on the map for a lot of folks, But lest we forget Lacey Swope, his role in True Grit, he played Lucky Ned Pepper. And my wife reminded me yesterday, as you saw the footage there, he played Boo Radley in To Kill a Mockingbird. I had totally forgotten about that. But truly legendary career, Days of Thunder. I mean, we could go on and on and on. A legend. We'll miss him for sure.
Yeah, his work over a lifetime is unbelievable. When you go back and take a look and just like on if you Google his name, the list goes for days and days and days. Absolutely.
Many pages.
Many pages.
For sure.
Hey, this morning, Colby, we have winds that are already picking up across Oklahoma. It's going to be a breezy day here in the Bob Mills Weather Center. We're breaking down the wind timeline hour by hour. It will impact you. Close to record highs today, 70s, 80s, mid-80s in the southwest with a dry line moving in. We'll detail all of it in full weather. A cold front hits Thursday. More on that in just a minute.
Also coming up, born with less than a 10% chance to survive. Now, a meeker 9th grader is thriving. We're going to hear her story next in This Morning Something Good. Got to talk about some dormant vegetation.
We do.
Some dry conditions. Not a lot of rain in the forecast.
Right.
And strong winds. That means
Strong
fire
winds.
danger.
Absolutely. Those are all the recipes that it takes to have really high fire danger. What happens is if a spark happens to ignite any type of grass or that dormant vegetation, brush, it spreads so rapidly when it's fueled by winds like we're going to see today.
What kind of winds are we talking about here?
45, 50. In the metro, I think our max gusts will be 40. It'll be more of like a 30-mile-an-hour wind day. It's not going to be extremely windy in the metro, but you get into our western counties, we could have gusts over 60.
Wow.
So it's big big difference, yeah.
That's huge. That's strong.
That's very strong. That's enough to do minor damage to
Yeah.
trees, pull up some tin roofs, that sort of thing. But if there were a fire, it'll mean business today for sure.
Okay.
Also, blowing dust will be a problem. So trackers are geared up, ready to go. As far as the weather team goes, we treat fire days, as always, like we do severe weather days. Mason Dunn, Bob Mills Sky News 9 will be in the air bringing you updates. Yesterday, Val and Amy Castor were out. Kyle Wilson were out. This was a fire where you could see from our American Fidelity cam, pointed to the north. This was to the west of Guthrie, Crescent Valley area, and that did burn several acres. No structures were lost in that one, and the winds weren't even very strong yesterday. There were several fires yesterday. Many of these were controlled burns. Some of them were small grass fires, but what you have to know is if you've done a prescribed burn, a controlled burn over the weekend or over the past several days, that could reignite today, and hot spots from that could seed new fires. Now, the winds up and down the plains currently are 25, some gusts close to 30. You get back to the west where you see the red on the map, those are gusts 45 to 55, even gusts to 70 miles per hour right now in the Rockies. And just watch the wind field. I didn't put values on here, but watch how the winds pick up out of the west and spread today. It is going to be windy up and down the plains. Wind gusts in the metro and across central Oklahoma in green, 20 to 40 miles per hour. Still enough to create high wildfire danger, but where it is extreme is back to the west and into the panhandle, where we'll have 55 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts. So high, moderate, extreme. We're pegging the meter there in western Oklahoma for today. Another thing that winds like this we're already seeing, I could see it on my drive in, it's a little bit dusty already in the metro. It'll be a hazy, kind of gritty day. Back in the west, visibility could actually be limited due to blowing dust, and I think we'll see some big time blowing dust in Kansas, the Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma Panhandle today. One county under a burn ban, that is Cotton County, where it is illegal to burn, but treat today like a statewide burn ban because it would be very dangerous to have a fire. We've got blizzard warnings going on in Montana. Our big wind maker coming in from the west. Look at all the advisories with it, mainly wind advisories, but some blowing snow as well. It will not bring moisture to Oklahoma. Already breezy this morning, and look how warm it is. We are close to record warm lows right now. High thin clouds have streamed in. Gusts right now are 20 to 30, and the temperatures, feels odd, it's February, and our temperatures are already above what our typical afternoon high is for this time of year. Sun comes up at 7:14, and then we start to mix down those stronger winds, and our surface winds start to pick up. We'll see a high today of 79, 80 in Clinton, 85 in Altus, 82 in Lawton, and as that dry line surges in, watch the humidity. It's the highest it'll be all day right now. Drops to about 35% in the metro, but out into the west, there'll be areas where the humidity is less than 10%, which means those fires can just spread so quickly. That's the concern. Watch your wind timeline statewide. Winds today 35, 40, already close to 50 by 10 a.m. in the Panhandle. Through the afternoon, 25, 35 mile an hour gusts in central Oklahoma, couple gusts to 40, but it's going to be the western kind of two tiers of counties where the most extreme winds will be. Tonight, winds back off and they'll be fairly light. Tomorrow, they pick back up. They're not nearly as strong. Most of the state sees winds 25 to 30, but the Panhandle will again have gusts 45 miles per hour. Big wind maker, huge area of spin. It's actually three different areas of low pressure kind of merging together into a big trough that's just going to kick up the winds through the day today and off and on through the rest of the work week. We'll be down into the 30s and 40s tonight, and then tomorrow. Look at your temperatures back into the 70s. Tomorrow the humidity is low statewide, talking 20% or so. Winds not as strong, but there's still high fire danger tomorrow. 15, 25 mile an hour gusts. That's enough to spread fires. Of course, fire crews would have a much better chance of getting a handle on it quickly. Back into the west for your Wednesday between noon and 8 p.m. 25, 35 mile an hour gusts, and still gusts over 40 possible in the Panhandle. So the fire threat's not going away. It's moderate to high for your Wednesday. Thursday, a cold front moves in. We're in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, but that change of direction of the wind makes it difficult for firefighters as well. Winds again, 25, 35, 40 miles per hour. So today is the windiest day by far with extreme wildfire risk, but it doesn't go away. It continues for the next few days. 60s around. Now Friday, the winds aren't as strong. We'll have higher humidity back into the low 50s, and it's chillier for the weekend, but hey, that's February-like temperatures. Lows in the 20s and 30s, highs near 50, and we'll watch the winds kick back up, more 70s, more high fire danger next week. Colby, we're needing rain right now, none in the 9-day. We'll have the latest coming up. I'll send it to you.
All right, Lacey, thank you. Hey, we want to bring you this update just into our newsroom. American civil rights activist Jesse Jackson has died, according to his family. Jackson was battling a neurodegenerative condition similar to Parkinson's. He was hospitalized in November of last year for this condition and related infections. In a statement, family says Jackson died peacefully surrounded by family, and Jackson, quote, elevated the voices of the voiceless, leaving an indelible mark on history. Jackson was 84 years old. A Meeker ninth grader born with a birth defect that gave her a less than 10% chance to live. After 17 surgeries, Maddie Hurley is finding her voice through ag education. Our Mike Glover introduces us to a true inspiration in this morning's Something Good.
The first day of class at a new school can be a really scary time, especially when that comes with emotional and physical challenges.
I have high-functioning autism, I have dyslexia, I have a speech disorder.
Challenges that led to her parents' decision to homeschool her.
We homeschooled in order to help with her health.
But last year for 8th grade, Maddie felt it was time for a change.
She decided, I'm ready to go to school.
A decision that came with some real challenges.
I definitely got bullied for quite a while.
But instead of being defeated by her challenges, she grew from them.
It helped me realize that having a few close friends that are worth a million than having a million friends that are worth nothing.
And Maddie found those close friends and her voice through agricultural education.
She was very afraid to talk to anyone, and now she'll joke with me and mess around with me.
So I currently have 5 aloe vera plants.
Her focus has been her aloe vera plants that she plans to one day turn into a business.
These are just some samples that I made. This is a facial serum.
And as passionate as she is about her school project, her real passion showed up.
Ooh, bug.
Yeah, Maddie is really into bugs.
We have a horsefly, which would be in the order Diptera.
And trust me, we haven't even scratched the surface of her knowledge.
I have like 2 tackle boxes.
And for Maddie, there simply isn't a vacation from passion.
I even went to Disney over the summer, and I have a little bug catcher in a jar. And I brought that with me to Disney so I could catch bugs while I'm at the park.
Finding your voice through your passion.
This was just me having fun.
That is Something Good. I'm Mike Glover for Oklahoma's Own.
Coming up here on News 9, landing a plane? Tough enough. Try doing it on a moving train. Sounds like a Denzel movie. It's an incredible stunt, and we have it coming up. Welcome back. Hey, you don't see this every day. A Red Bull athlete makes aviation history by landing a plane on a moving train.
Goodness.
This is insane. This pilot executed the landing blindly, impacted by shifty airspeeds, heavy turbulence, with only centimeters. That's the margin of error. 50-second window to make contact.
Look
He
at
was
him.
able to land, then take off again smoothly.
These
Very
pilots
impressive.
are incredible.
I mean, come on. I was like, as soon as I heard about this stunt, I was like, that's got to be Red Bull. That's what they usually.
Look at him. Oh,
gives-
that's so cool.
It gives you wings.
There was no wind going on, you could tell in
Yeah.
that shot. We've got a lot of wind headed to Oklahoma today. Extreme wildfire danger. We will time out the whole thing. Talk about near record highs coming up at 4:30.
Right now at 4:30, a disturbance call turns into a shooting, leading police to find a dead body on the southeast side of Oklahoma City. I'm Colby Thielen. What police say led to that gunfire, it's ahead.
Near record heat, strong winds, and a very low humidity in portions of Oklahoma. I'm Robin Marshall looking live from Chickasha, and Lacey Swope says that means extreme fire danger for today. It's all coming up on 9.
And with that extreme fire danger, state fire crews are gearing up, ready for what may happen today. I'm Lacey Lowry. How local responders are working to cut down on response times. That story coming up.
Live from downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma's own News 9 starts now.
4:30, good morning, Oklahoma on this Tuesday, and a lot changes with the weather. We have to be weather aware today.
Yeah, it's going to be a risky day out there, and folks are going to have to be weather aware.
Heads up, Western Oklahoma. Go ahead and prepare yourself and be careful. You don't want to start any fires. Let's turn to the Bob Mills Weather Center. Lacey, this is a day to be weather aware.
It is. The weather team's geared up. Storm trackers will be out positioned across the state. If a fire were to develop, Bob Mills Sky News 9 will be in the air. Mason will bring you those live pictures if it comes to that, because the conditions are going to be favorable for big time fires that would spread rapidly. But you have to get a fire to start first, and we're hoping we don't see any of that. If everyone is very careful today, we may get through the day without any fires. It's always a possibility, but the wind is already up. That's our Lucky Star Skycam network. We have cloud cover, and it is 60 degrees, close to record warm lows. Watch the winds today spread across the entire central portion of the United States with a dry line that's moving in. How strong? Well, gusts 20 to 40 in the Oklahoma City metro. That's not all that extreme, but that's still a lot for as far as a fire goes. But you get out in western Oklahoma, 35 to 55 mile-an-hour gusts, and some gusts to 60 plus in the Panhandle. So high to extreme with a wildfire risk when you factor in the dormant vegetation, the drought, and the extremely low humidity. Advisories are posted for the wind. There are blizzard warnings, by the way, up in Montana with the storm system. Our winds right now are out of the due south in the metro, 25 to 30, and winds are coming around out of the southwest out in western Oklahoma. We're all in the 50s, the low 60s, and we do climb close to record highs later today with a high of 79. Now in full weather, we'll detail the humidity, the wind timeline statewide. Fire danger continues the next few days, and I'm tracking a cold front for your Thursday. That impacts your weekend, your 9 days coming up.
Lacey, thank you. The Oklahoma Forestry Service has crews staged in western Oklahoma. That's in Woodward and in Guyman up in the Panhandle. All of this in advance of that critical wildfire threat. That will allow extra help in those areas if wildfires should spark. We saw that play out with widespread wildfires across the state last March. Now, despite the rising wildfire risk, there's only one county right now under a burn ban. It's Cotton County. But of course, that may change throughout this week. Right now, county commissioners use specific criteria to decide when to declare a burn ban. A statewide burn ban may be called by the governor, but some lawmakers are looking to clarify who issues burn bans when they're dealing with a wildfire risk. Senate Bill 1550 would authorize county commissioners to consult with the Commissioner of Agriculture to determine whether conditions pose a significant threat to public safety. It would allow them to bypass some of the criteria needed to issue those burn bans. A bill passed through the committee now, and it moves for full consideration for the full Senate floor.
Well, and as you've already been hearing, the next several days could bring especially risky conditions as all the ingredients for those wildfires apparently are going to be in the mix. Dry weather and warming temperatures are creating the perfect environment for fires to spark and spread quickly.
News 9's Kylie Dedman spoke with local and state fire officials about what you can do to help prevent wildfires from spreading. Kylie, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, fire officials say it only takes one spark to start a huge grass fire into a huge wildfire. And they say it takes all of us to be prepared and ready and to be smart with what we're doing to help not cause any grass fires.
Now we have the drought. We also have dormant vegetation, low humidity winds, and that's a recipe for wildfires in Oklahoma.
With drought conditions intensifying across Oklahoma, fire officials say those dry, windy conditions are exactly why rapid response is critical to getting ahead of wildfires before they spread.
So our key is to get to these grass fires as fast as we can, commit as many resources to the scene as possible so we can extinguish these fires before they grow to be larger wildfires.
Public Information Officer for the Oklahoma City Fire Department, Scott Douglas, says February, March, and April is peak wildfire season.
Our concern right now with this wildfire season is we had a lot of rain in the spring through the summer, and that caused way more vegetation growth.
Officials stay prepared and ready by leaning into their partnerships with local fire departments, the Oklahoma Forestry Service, the Oklahoma Emergency Management, and the National Weather Service.
We are basically in 24/7 communications with them, assessing the fire environment, keeping in mind that it's not just fire weather, but it is also the fuels input.
Deputy Fire Management Chief, Oklahoma Forestry Services, Drew Daly, says they pre-position brush trucks across the state depending on where the highest fire threat is going to be on the Oklahoma landscape.
You know, making sure that we are focusing on having the resources in the right places at the right time ahead of incidents occurring. That way we are limiting that response time.
Now, officials also say that many wildfires are preventable. Also, many caused by people throwing out their cigarettes, loose vehicle chains, people grilling, and then officials also want to remind any welders to be careful on where their sparks go. Reporting live, Kylie Dudman, Oklahoma's own News 9.
Kylie, thank you. If you see fire or smoke, call 911. Don't assume someone else already phoned it in. Fire officials say they'd rather have numerous calls about the same thing than no calls at all.
Other headlines this morning in Southeast Oklahoma City. Police are investigating an officer-involved shooting. It happened near Southeast 89th and Sooner. This was about 6 o'clock last night. Police tell News 9 the officers responded first to a disturbance call there and then found a suspect who refused to put down a weapon. The officer fired his gun, hitting the suspect. Officers then went inside the home where the suspect previously had barricaded himself and found the body of another man inside. At this point, they're investigating how that man died. No names have been released. Police are investigating his death as a homicide.
We get called to these situations sometimes and don't know what's going to happen, and sometimes we're faced with split-second decisions, and it's unfortunate to have to go through this, whether you're involved in it somehow or if you're an officer.
At this point, we know the suspect has been taken to the hospital. His name has not been released, nor his condition. The officer who shot that man is now on routine administrative leave. Law enforcement takes one man into custody who they say ran from them during a traffic stop. Highway Patrol pulled the man over yesterday near Chandler when we're told the man made a break for it. Law enforcement had a drone in the air trying to spot the man. He was nabbed yesterday afternoon. At this point, no word yet why troopers were pulling him over in the first place.
Oklahoma City police are searching for a suspect from a stabbing that happened in the front yard of a home. This was yesterday around 10 o'clock in the morning near Southwest 36th and Penn. Police say the stabbing suspect ran off. They don't have any details about that suspect, and we're trying to figure out how badly the victim was injured. They have not released the victim's condition. And updating breaking news out of Midtown last night, police say someone called in a threat to SSM St. Anthony Hospital, prompting a lockdown. A hospital spokesperson tells us investigators found no credible threat. They searched, didn't find anything, and that lockdown was eventually lifted. Pretty frustrating, though. St. Anthony is one of a handful of metro hospitals targeted by threats just over the last week.
A death row inmate will temporarily have no interaction with other prisoners because of breaking a major rule. David Ware has been at the state pen since 2022 after he was sentenced to death for killing Tulsa Police Sergeant Craig Johnson and injuring another officer, Arash Zarkashan. A new report shows DOC found a contraband cell phone in Ware's cell, and the prison considers that the most egregious rules violation they have. They moved him into a maximum security single cell unit.
It is the most, it's because either people that can't live with other people that have to be single celled, or because of behavior issues, we move them into that unit.
The DOC says Ware's punishment can last between 30 days and 6 months.
It is 4:40, and from ministry to a multi-million-dollar CEO. It's really a story you have to hear to believe on this week's In the Spotlight podcast. I sit down with Mike Beckham. He is the founder of Simple Modern, based right out of Moore, Oklahoma. He built a $200 million drinkware company from the ground up, but says the real mission has always been giving back. How did he do it? Find out Wednesday morning when the podcast will be at 10:30 on Oklahoma's own Originals YouTube channel. There's the QR code. We'll link all of that information on our website. It's a great conversation. He is such an inspiration and has such a servant heart. It is just remarkable how well he's done.
Local boy, local company.
Yeah.
It is so successful.
All around the globe.
It's cool. They've partnered too with the Thunder during their summer camps. So our kid got to walk away from his basketball camp with the Simple Modern.
Nice.
It's one of his favorites. Still loves it.
All right, way to go. So
Yeah.
that'll be Wednesday on the YouTube Oklahoma's own original channel.
Let's get over to the Bob Mills Weather Center. Check in with Lacey. Lace,
Hey.
dry and windy today.
Already windy, guys, and after the sun comes up, the winds crank up even more. Here in the Bob Mills Weather Center, we are watching that timeline closely. We'll talk about the peak windiest time today when the winds start to back off a little. Winds could gust as high as 60 miles per hour in parts of the state before they relax a little tonight. Extreme fire danger, also record-breaking heat possible. The latest coming up.
Also ahead, struggling readers are now getting help from a computer. See how one AI program is changing classrooms. The story's ahead.
Check out this video. We can tell you a windmill caught fire in Breckenridge, Texas. This was over the weekend. Fire officials believed it was caused by a lightning strike. No injuries were reported.
Look at those flames. That is so high up there. It looks like a small little spark, but that's a lot of fire right there.
This happens pretty often with windmills, right?
Yeah, we see those wind farms out, you know, like in the Weatherford area here, so we can kind of relate to that image. Yeah, all over Oklahoma. And boy, to see that on fire, crazy.
It is. It's wild.
It doesn't look like there's much of a lightning chance today, but the wildfire risk's still there.
You know, one of the things you have to watch for when the winds are this strong, sometimes this can bounce the power lines, that can cause those to arc, that can start fires. There's so many things that can start fires other than someone going out and physically starting a campfire.
Right.
You know, I think that won't happen today. But as far as these things that really are hard to prevent, those are things we have to watch out for as well.
Yeah, sometimes like a tire blowout has caused grass fires and stuff.
Parking a farm equipment or a vehicle on dormant vegetation out in a field, out in a pasture, that can cause a small spark. Lots of things. Welders, you know, out just trying to do your daily
Just
work.
starting a cigarette too.
Tons of things.
Yes.
In fact, I got a graphic here just to show you all of those things that you can do to help prevent the wildfire risk. That is not it. I am on links 4, control room. That's a great graphic. Right now, the wildfire risk
really
is
like it.
low.
Yeah.
There's the one we need. So yeah, don't toss out your cigarette butts. Towing chains. Whenever you've got a trailer and you're pulling that, those chains can, if they're too long or come unhooked, they can drag the pavement and start to spark and arc. Just trains driving down the tracks can cause sparks if something is dragging. So make sure that you're just watching everything you're doing closely. Clear your property of any brush, underbrush. If you have leaves around your structures, your home, rake all those back. If you can make a fire break on your land, that's a good thing to do. And then just monitor prescribed burns. If you've had to burn your property over the last several days, even over the past week, make sure there are no hot spots left or remaining, because any small spark today can get spread down the line and start a fire on your neighbor's property that could burn down your neighbor's home on a day like today. So everyone needs to be vigilant. We have high to extreme wildfire danger, especially for the west and in the panhandle. That's where the conditions are much worse. It's where the winds will be the strongest. For a majority of the state, the winds will be 30, possibly gusting up to 40 miles per hour. But you get out west from Clinton, out to Fairview, Alva, Sayre, Arnett, back down to Hollis, Mangum, gusts could be over 55, and there could be gusts over 60 in the panhandle. As far as breathing and respiratory issues, if you have those today, the dust will be kicking up. It'll be hazy in the skies, could limit visibility for drivers out west. And in the panhandle, visibility could get down less to a mile just due to blowing dust. It's one of those types of days, Oklahoma. This is the big storm system that will drive the winds. It's going to shove a dry line across the state, bringing in desert-like air. It has moisture with it for all the high elevation, some heavy snow, some blowing snow, blizzard warnings in Montana. We won't get a lick of moisture out of it as it heads over our state. Right now, winds are up. That's what'll greet you as you head out. That's our Chickasha cam, part of our Lucky Star Sky Cam network. 60 degrees is the current temperature. Very warm, close to record warm lows. Winds are 20 to 30 miles per hour currently. Not as strong down south, but they are going to pick up after daybreak. The record warm low is 58 degrees, and right now we are still above that. We'll see what happens over the next couple of hours. I think we'll dip a degree or two. Temperature down to about 57, 58 by 6 a.m., and then we warm back up to the upper 70s. It is going to be warm today. Winds 80 to 85 miles per hour in the west, and watch what the humidity does behind that dry line. Drops down to about 30% in central Oklahoma, but down to less than 15, as low as 10% in some of our far western counties. So that's what you have to watch out for, because when the air is that dry and we have dormant vegetation, that just instantly becomes fuel for a fire if one were to get started. Now here's the wind timeline. Take a look at your TV, kind of pick out your hometown. By 10 a.m. we'll get gusts 35, close to 40. Winds will stay about there into the early afternoon, but watch out west, 40, 45, 50, some gusts to 60. By the time we get to 7, 8 o'clock, winds are relaxing some, and they actually become fairly light overnight, but they pick back up tomorrow. Now tomorrow, our windiest conditions will be in the panhandle again. The rest of the state, 25 to 30, but the problem is with Wednesday, even though it's not as windy, we will have very low humidity. So again, that would mean that anything that starts could spread rapidly. We've got a big storm system off the west. It's actually 3 areas of low pressure that are kind of combining into a big trough, and that just drives the wind, increases that pressure gradient, and causes winds to be strong. They're not as strong Wednesday. They're strong again on Thursday. Today's our windiest day by far. 30s and 40s overnight tonight. Tomorrow back into the 70s, low 70s into western Oklahoma. Still warm for February, close to records. We're not breaking records. And tomorrow, most of us will see winds 15 to 25, some gusts possibly to 35 in the west, and over 40 in the panhandle. So again, for tomorrow, moderate to high wildfire danger. Now we're going to watch Thursday. Thursday, high wildfire risk because the winds will be strong again, 20 to 40, and the temperatures will be in the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s in the afternoon as a cold front is pressing in. That'll cause winds to change direction in the afternoon, and then we do drop off. The winds fall off, the temperatures fall back into the 50s, lows in the 20s for parts of your weekend and start next week, but we're watching days next week, guys, in the mid-70s, more high winds, more high fire danger. We're needing rain right now. It's not showing up. I'll send it back to you.
Well, artificial intelligence is now helping young students learn how to read with personalized reading programs.
Madeline Wright has the story.
Not a hot dog.
8-year-old Emily Hiles is diving into books, but says reading can be a struggle.
The hardest part about reading if you don't know the word, and the word gets harder and harder.
But now she and her classmates at Harris School in Collingdale are getting extra help from artificial intelligence. It's a computer program called Amira.
Very. Now you say the word.
Very.
Nice work.
Amira acts like a personalized reading tutor for first, second, and third graders in the Southeast Delco School District.
This is, I would say, really the only AI intelligence that we use. I know AI has come a long way.
We can give Buddy a bath.
Students choose a story, and as they read, Amira listens and corrects their mistakes, giving instant feedback. It even screens for dyslexia.
This name is pronounced Danny.
It kind of taps into where they need where they're struggling.
The district says the technology costs about $13,000 for 1 year. Students spend about 20 minutes a day with Amira. Their voices are recorded so teachers and parents can track their progress.
Already there are signs Amira is making a difference.
It helps me read better. It tests you in the story.
The principal says students were reading an average of 59 words per minute at the beginning of the school year. Now, that average has jumped to 91 words per minute. And with this progress, teachers report students' confidence is growing.
I can read fast now, and then I got better progress.
Wow, how does that make you feel?
Happy.
What started as a pilot program is now permanent, with Amira almost becoming like a second teacher in the classroom. In Collingdale, Delaware County, Madeline Wright, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Hey, by the way, come say hi to David and Lacey this Friday before the Thunder game at the Paycom Center. They're going to be in the 100 level concourse starting at 5:30. Tip off at 7. You can also watch the game right here on News 9.
It's always a fun event, Lacey.
Yeah, and then you can watch the game for free, which is awesome here on News 9. We'll be streaming throughout the event, before, during. I know sports has a lot of things planned, so it's always a fun time. But then we like meeting the Thunder fans and the News 9 fans.
Yeah.
Just saying hi.
Photo booth, chit chats, signing
All the
autographs.
concessions.
Oh, yes.
Hot dogs.
All the things. All the things. It's always a great time. And by that point, the cold front will have made its way in. We're talking near record highs, though, for your Tuesday. Extreme wildfire danger with a lot of wind. We'll detail it at 5.
Something like this happen in a somewhat decent neighborhood is really disheartening.
A Metro mobile home park is left shaken after that area is swarmed by police. I'm Robin Marsh. How an officer-involved shooting unfolded in the neighborhood. It's coming up.
And a shocking sight at Guthrie Lake. State troopers pull a car out of the water. I'm Colby Thielen, where officers believe that car came from.
And we're watching the growing wildfire threat today that could turn extreme for some parts of the state. I'm Lacey Lowry. The preparations underway right now to keep you safe.
Live from downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma's own News 9 starts now.
5 o'clock on your Tuesday. Good morning, Oklahoma. We're talking wildfire threat with Lacey Swope here in a moment. But we do want to remind you we are live right now on the News 9 YouTube channel. You can scan this QR code on your screen. Go to that page, subscribe, and then hop into the live chat. Leave us a comment or a question, and we will read those throughout the newscast.
And we do want to turn to some breaking news right now on the northwest side of Oklahoma City. You're taking a live look from our news tracker, Lex Stanfield. He just arrived there on the scene for a crash. This is right near Northwest 23rd and Roth Avenue. That's just west of Portland. Our crew there on scene says that this looks like it was a non-injury crash involving a driver hitting a parked car. As you can see, the wreckers are there. They have both of those cars loaded up at this point. We do know that one lane of Northwest 23rd is blocked. Crews are working to clean this scene up. Of course, we'll continue to follow this as it develops here, Northwest 23rd, just west of Portland.
And as you're waking up this morning, the big story this morning, the growing wildfire threat across Oklahoma. Some parts may see extreme fire danger. Our trackers already saw firefighters put out a wildfire in Logan County.
Yeah, they say old tires were burning. Thankfully, no homes or buildings were damaged, but it's scary. That was yesterday, and now we come into today's conditions.
Yeah, the threat continues. Let's turn to meteorologist Lacey Swope. She's in the Bob Mills Weather Center. Lacey?
Hey, good morning. Right now, guys, the winds are already strong. That's the thing. They're gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour. They'll be gusting close to 60 in the Panhandle later today. So we had the fire yesterday, and that burned for a long time. Now, crews, of course, did an excellent job, jumped on that. That fire was to the west of Guthrie. That was the video you were seeing. Val and Amy Castor, that was their video. They were right there on it. Had multiple other small fires. Some of these were prescribed burns yesterday. So if you had your property and you burned yesterday, no matter how large that fire was, how many acres, please monitor it for hot spots, because on a day like today, that could be the beginning of a massive wildfire. Between 10 a.m. and 8 p.m., high to extreme wildfire risk. Now, our worst conditions are out west into the Panhandle. Winds today, here's kind of the wind zone, the maximums. We're talking 20 to 40 miles per hour in central Oklahoma, up and down I-35 back to the east. But you get from Clinton to Sayre to Cheyenne, Arnett, Woodward, that's where winds could gust up to 55, up to 60 plus in portions of the Panhandle where high wind warnings are in effect. There will be blowing dust in this area coming out of New Mexico. The dry line will move in. There's a lot of rain and snow with that storm, but that's not going to make it into Oklahoma. It's already dry. It's already windy. Our humidity will start to drop once the sun comes up. We're close to record warm lows right now. And guys, this afternoon, close to record highs, upper 70s and 80s. We'll talk about your statewide wind timeline and when the cold front hits on Thursday, how that impacts your weekend coming up.
Lacey, thanks. As Lacey was just talking about, the next few days could bring especially risky conditions for wildfires.
Well, it's just a bad combination. The dry weather and the warming temperatures, a perfect condition for fires to spark and spread quickly.
Our Kylie Dedman joins us live this morning with how local and state fire officials have really already been preparing for this. Kylie?
Yeah, officials say it just takes one spark to turn a small grass fire into a huge wildfire, especially with the conditions turning hotter, drier, and windier this week. Now, fire officials are already prepped and ready for what could be a busy week turned into a busy wildfire season.
Now we have the drought. We also have dormant vegetation, low humidity winds, and that's a recipe for wildfires in Oklahoma.
With drought conditions intensifying across Oklahoma, fire officials say those dry, windy conditions are exactly why rapid response is critical to getting ahead of wildfires before they spread.
So our key is to get to these grass fires as fast as we can, commit as many resources to the scene as possible so we can extinguish these fires before they grow to be larger wildfires.
Public Information Officer for the Oklahoma City Fire Department, Scott Douglas, says February, March, and April is peak wildfire season.
Our concern right now with this wildfire season is we had a lot of rain in the spring through the summer, and that caused way more vegetation growth.
Officials stay prepared and ready by leaning into their partnerships with local fire departments, the Oklahoma Forestry Service, the Oklahoma Emergency Management, and the National Weather Service.
We are basically in 24/7 communications with them, assessing the fire environment, keeping in mind that it's not just fire weather, but it is also the fuels input.
Deputy Fire Management Chief, Oklahoma Forestry Services, Drew Daly, says they pre-position brush trucks across the state depending on where the highest fire threat is going to be on the Oklahoma landscape.
You know, making sure that we are focusing on having the resources in the right places at the right time ahead of incidents occurring. That way we are limiting that response time.
Officials say many wildfires are preventable, often caused by people throwing out their cigarettes, vehicles dragging any loose chains, people grilling, and burning debris. Now, officials also want to remind any welders out there to be careful where their sparks end up flying. Reporting live, Kylie Dudman, Oklahoma's own News 9.
Kylie, thank you. If you see fire or smoke, call 911. They say don't assume someone else already phoned it in. Firefighters would rather have repeated numerous calls about the same fire than no calls at all. Right now, there's only one county under a burn ban. It's in red. That's Cotton County. We'll keep watching if any others are added to the map. Just a reminder, burn bans can be issued by county commissioners and the governor. We've now learned a former volunteer firefighter who's now a state lawmaker is hoping to make it easier for counties to issue burn bans. We'll explain how he wants to better save lives. It's coming up at 5:30 this morning.
And we do have breaking news just into the newsroom. Civil rights leader and two-time presidential candidate Reverend Jesse Jackson has died at 84 years old. His family says that he died peacefully today, surrounded by loved ones. The cause of a death was not announced, but Jackson was battling a condition very similar to Parkinson's. He made several visits to Oklahoma. In fact, he was last here in 2021 alongside President Biden, remembering the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa Race Massacre. His family says Jackson elevated the voices of the voiceless, leaving an indelible mark on history.
5:07, other headlines this morning. An officer-involved shooting in southeast Oklahoma City ends with one person dead and another injured. Police officers tell News 9 they caught the disturbance call last night about a man who had assaulted a neighbor and was shooting at people near Southeast 59th and Sooner Road. Police say when they got there, the armed suspect refused to put down his gun, and that's when an officer shot him. Officers say the armed suspect was taken to the hospital. They say they later, though, went into that man's home and found another man dead inside the home.
We don't know exactly what happened, who killed that person or what the situation is, but it's all part of the investigation.
We have a lot of kids around here, so it's obviously dangerous, and something like this to happen in a somewhat decent neighborhood is really disheartening.
So the person who died, his name has not been released. The suspect's name has not been released. And the officer who shot that suspect is on routine administrative leave this morning.
Now to Arizona, where deputies have cleared Nancy Guthrie's family, including her adult children, as suspects in her disappearance. The mother of Today's Show co-host Savannah Guthrie was last seen on February 1st. Investigators say they are getting help from Walmart now because the masked suspect seen in doorbell camera video had a backpack right here sold exclusively at Walmart. And also the FBI says agents are now using a device to track any emissions that Nancy's pacemaker might be releasing. They put it on a helicopter, flew really low over the area yesterday, trying to pick up any signals if Nancy's pacemaker is in the area.
The Oklahoma Highway Patrol pulls out a car from Guthrie Lake. Officers believe it was stolen. We told you yesterday a Metro man found that car underwater while fishing and called police. Troopers say they didn't find anything in the car except for some fish. Guthrie police say the car was stolen last month. Pretty wild.
There's a big story there somewhere.
Yeah,
It's a weird way to catch fish if you think of
it.
It'd be a tough haul.
That's a one big lure, right?
I'm telling you.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, let's get over to Lacey in the Bob Mills Weather Center. Have you been fishing lately, Lacey?
Some over the past week.
Nice.
Definitely.
Car?
What?
Did you catch a car?
No cars, but I was thinking about that. Those boaters, what they were saying is they had backed down the ramp and ended up hitting the metal. That would destroy your prop. And like they were saying, if you're going across the water, the last thing you expect is there's an entire vehicle just below the surface. So glad no one got hurt.
Yeah, use the fish finder to find the van on it.
And
Isn't
it's
that
crazy how those locators are now, how you can see that with sonar.
I still can't catch a fish, though.
And still go home hungry. Guys, today the wind is going to be crazy. Those lakes will be white capping unreal today with gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour. Western Oklahoma, gusts 50 to 60 miles per hour. High to really extreme wildfire danger. Highs today close to record levels. We're talking 70s, 80s. We'll have all the details for you when those winds start to die down coming up.
Ahead. Protecting your heart one simple habit at a time. The health hacks from experts. It's our smart living next.
Welcome back to Thunder. We'll be hosting the Brooklyn Nets this Friday, and you can come by and meet David Payne and Lacey Swope. They're going to be inside the Paycom Center before that game. They'll be set up at the 100-level concourse starting at 5:30. Tip-off for the game is 7, so come by, ask your questions, and maybe bring them some popcorn. You know, they get hungry out there.
This is awesome. It's a big night for News 9 because not only the meet and greet, but then we are carrying the game on News 9 Friday night.
Boy, I tell you, yeah. So if you don't get a chance to see it, way to watch right here on Channel 9, and excited about that. Excited for the folks to get to come out and say hi. It's always a great time.
It's really cool for this event. They bring this photo booth out, and everyone comes through. We take pictures, just like from. I mean, it reminds me of the '90s.
Yeah.
You know, getting in the photo booth, taking a fun picture, and you get to walk away with it. So these days, it's all on your phone, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But it's just a fun, different event that we do, and Thunder fans are the best. News 9 fans are the best.
Well, they already bring the energy, so I can imagine how exciting it is to meet the fans and then go cheer on the game.
And then David Payne's in the middle of the mess, so it's like, here we go.
Yes, yes.
We'll pray for you,
Doing
Lacey.
David Payne things. Thank you. I need that. On a day like today, we'll be working closely with David Payne.
There
David's
you
been
go.
busy yesterday. The weather team's ready to go. Storm trackers will be out. Mason
We love
Dunn.
you, David, right?
Sometimes we do. David Payne will be here for sure, and he'll keep you updated. Mason Dunn will be in the air in Bob Mills Sky News 9, bringing you live shots of any fires. This was fire yesterday from our American Fidelity cam. Yeah, from the metro, from Oklahoma City, you could see that fire. This was pointed to the north, so just west of Guthrie. Val and Amy Castor were right there. No structures were lost in that fire, but the smoke just kept building up. And at times, you could see the flames shooting up as this fire would interact with some of those cedar trees and just kind of explode. And today, we could see more fires, but I want to start by pointing out all the areas that we had fires yesterday. Every red dot was either a controlled burn or a small fire that got started. The winds weren't very strong yesterday, but if you had a fire on your property, make sure there are no embers left. I can promise you there are if you've burned even in the last week or so. The rain helped put out some of those fires in hot spots, but for other areas, you have to make sure there are no coals, no embers left, because that will be driven to the north of your property with a strong south wind today, could start new fires. Now, the winds are up back to the west through the Rockies. That's the strong wind field. That will be advancing into Oklahoma by the time we get to about 10 a.m. So in the next 5 hours, the red on the map is where the winds are gusting 60 to 70 miles per hour. And watch the red extend back across the plains. Now we'll have winds 35 to 40 in central Oklahoma. It'll be a south wind coming around out of the west. On average in green, 20 to 40 mile-an-hour winds. So not extreme in central Oklahoma, but the winds will be much stronger in our western counties and especially out in the panhandle, 55 to 60. It's already a little dusty this morning, a little hazy. There'll be more grit in the air for sure as we head into the afternoon. Some blowing dust into western Oklahoma. Could even limit visibility with blowing dust in the panhandle. High to extreme wildfire danger. That's what we're expecting today. So pegging the meter. Today's our windiest day, but the fire threat continues over the next several days until we get beneficial moisture and everything greens on up. So wind advisories are out. High wind warnings into the panhandle. Right now, winds are about 20 to 30 in central Oklahoma. Our Lucky Star Skycam network live from Chickasha. Winds 20 to 30. That's what we're expecting currently. It's what we're seeing, measured wind gusts, but that will start to pick up as the sun comes up. By the way, as you head out, we're right now at a record warm low. 60 degrees is the temperature as you step out, and we're going to warm into the mid-upper 70s this afternoon. We have some cloud cover around, some high thin clouds, and that's what will actually help mitigate some of those extreme winds in central Oklahoma. But out west, sunshine, 80s, mid-80s is what we're expecting. And as the dry line moves in, the humidity, all the moisture in the low levels, what can help kind of suppress wildfire spreading, it goes away, okay? We drop down to less than 15% humidity into western Oklahoma, timed with those winds picking up. Now you'll notice central eastern Oklahoma, some gusts to 40, but the strongest winds are out in the panhandle. Tonight they're fairly light, but tomorrow, 15, 25 mile-an-hour winds with, again, out west, gusts close to 30, and tomorrow the humidity is very low. We have more winds on Thursday. So large upper-level storm system. There are 3 areas of low pressure lined up. Tonight, we drop into the 30s, the 40s. Winds start to relax. They're down to about 10 to 20 overnight. Tomorrow, winds 15 to 25, some gusts to 30. Highs back in the low 70s. We're not breaking records, but we're close to records tomorrow. And again, breezy conditions, gusty in the west, which leads to moderate to high wildfire danger again. And we'll do it again on Thursday. Thursday, a cold front hits. Now that keeps your afternoon in the 60s, 52 on Friday. Temperatures much cooler, some 20s for morning lows for the weekend. Highs in the lower and mid 50s. And next week, guys, more high fire danger because we get hot and we get windy again. I'll send it back to you.
Lacey, thank you. Heart disease remains the leading cause of death right here in the U.S.
February is Heart Health Month, and experts say small daily habits can make a big life-saving difference.
News 9's Madison Jones shows us simple heart hacks that you can actually start now.
A new Cleveland Clinic survey finds many Americans don't realize how everyday routines can quietly raise their risk for heart disease, heart attack, and stroke. The good news, doctors say affordable changes at home can have a big impact.
Your heart works hard, pumping nearly 2,000 gallons of blood every day. But doctors say modern lifestyles are pushing it to the limit.
Things like obesity, growing rates of diabetes. Other things are raising levels of heart disease.
So, how can you improve your heart health? Small changes in the kitchen can make a big difference. Studies show garlic may help support healthy cholesterol and triglyceride levels. Even little things like rinsing canned foods can cut hidden sodium that drives up blood pressure. And research shows eating later at night may increase blood pressure, cholesterol, and inflammation, all linked to heart disease. Doctors also say pay attention to air quality, both outside and inside your home. Pollution can trigger inflammation linked to heart attacks and strokes. Even if you exercise, sitting too long can still raise heart risk. Experts say move every 30 minutes to help lower blood pressure and improve circulation. Short micro walks throughout the day can boost circulation and help control blood sugar. And when you fall asleep matters too. One study found people who went to sleep between 10 and 11 p.m. had the lowest heart disease risk. That rose up to 25% for those who went to sleep after midnight.
Doctors say these changes may seem small, but stacking healthy habits over time can significantly lower your risk. Even setting reminders to stand, walk, or wind down earlier at night can help build consistency. For Oklahoma's Own, I'm Madison Jones.
It is the first day of the Lunar New Year. Coming up, where you can celebrate the Year of the Horse here in the Metro.
Giddy up.
It is officially the first day of the Lunar New Year. If you're hoping to celebrate the Year of the Horse, that's this year, the Year of the Horse, there's several options in the metro. The Myriad Gardens is actually hosting a free event this weekend with performances and food trucks. You can catch it on Saturday at the Devon Lawn from 11 to 2.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This is the Year of the Horse. Is there implication with that? I don't know. No. I don't know what it means.
It's like energetic,
There you
independent,
go.
and free-spirited. That's what that means.
I like that.
All right. Well, let's turn to our free
Right on,
friend, Lacey Swope.
No rain in this inn, that's for sure.
Yeah, don't rein it in, Lacey.
Hey, here at the Bob Mills Weather Center, the winds are up. Did you guys notice that on your drive
Little
in?
bit.
Already 25, 30. They're going to be gusting to about 40 for a while this afternoon. But in western Oklahoma, gusts 55 to 60, and that's where the wildfire danger is much higher. We'll detail that statewide. Be careful today. The latest wind timeline, and a cold front moves in for your Thursday. That's coming up at 5:30.
Also ahead here on News 9, the state is on high alert for possible extreme fire danger this week. Coming up, we're going to show you how state officials are preparing to keep us safe at 5:30.
You're watching Oklahoma's Own News 9 this morning.
All right, thanks for joining us at 5:30. Our top story today is this growing wildfire threat across the state.
Yeah, crews already busy with firefighters putting out this wildfire in Logan County yesterday. They say a pile of tires actually burned. Thankfully, there were no homes or buildings damaged.
Our meteorologist Lacey Swope is standing by the Bob Mills Weather Center with more on the high fire danger for today. Lacey, I mean, the winds are going to be picking up.
They are. Yesterday, they were gusting to about 20-25, and that video was from Val and Amy Castor. They were right there showing live shots from that fire up in Logan County. You could see it from Oklahoma City. Today, the winds will be about double that in portions of the state. So today is much windier. The humidity will be much less today. That gives us extreme wildfire threat. Now, this is for western Oklahoma, where the conditions will be the worst. The number at the top is going to be the maximum wind speed over the next several days, picking up a little bit Saturday. It's not nearly as windy Friday through about Monday, but next week winds pick up again and they're changing direction. In the metro today, we have wildfire danger at a high, not quite as extreme as western Oklahoma, and just not great conditions over the next several days. Few days into the weekend, those winds are calmer and it'll be a north breeze. We have a cold front headed our way. But today, we're in the thick of it. If you see smoke, smell smoke, call 911 so fire crews know about it and can get on it as quickly as possible. The wind and the low humidity is what will give us these conditions. In central Oklahoma, winds 20 to 40 miles per hour, okay, on the high end. That's not all that extreme. But once you get out to Clinton, Fairview, Woodward, Sayre, winds 55, close to 60 in the Panhandle. That strong wind field is coming across the Rockies as we speak, and winds are already to about 30 in the metro, but they're going to pick up after daybreak. And guys, we're at a record warm low. We could see record highs as we head through the next few days. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Lacey, and it is the big story as local and state officials have been working behind the scenes to prepare for this week.
Crews will be staged in Woodward and Guyman today, ready to battle any fires that spark.
Our Kylie Dedman continues our team coverage now with those preparations underway. Kylie?
Hey guys, yeah, fire officials say it only takes one spark to turn a small grass fire into a huge wildfire, especially with conditions turning drier, hotter, and windier. And we've been out here for almost 2 hours now, and the winds have definitely already started to pick up this morning. Now, fire officials are already prepped and ready to go for what could be a busy week turned into a very busy wildfire season.
Now we have the drought. We also have dormant vegetation, low humidity winds, and that's a recipe for wildfires in Oklahoma.
With drought conditions intensifying across Oklahoma, fire officials say those dry, windy conditions are exactly why rapid response is critical to getting ahead of wildfires before they spread.
So our key is to get to these grass fires as fast as we can, commit as many resources to the scene as possible so we can extinguish these fires before they grow to be larger wildfires.
Public Information Officer for the Oklahoma City Fire Department, Scott Douglas, says February, March, and April is peak wildfire season.
Our concern right now with this wildfire season is we had a lot of rain in the spring through the summer, and that caused way more vegetation growth.
Officials stay prepared and ready by leaning into their partnerships with local fire departments, the Oklahoma Forestry Service, the Oklahoma Emergency Management, and the National Weather Service.
We are basically in 24/7 communications with them, assessing the fire environment, keeping in mind that it's not just fire weather, but it is also the fuels input.
Deputy Fire Management Chief, Oklahoma Forestry Services, Drew Daly, says they pre-position brush trucks across the state depending on where the highest fire threat is going to be on the Oklahoma landscape.
You know, making sure that we are focusing on having the resources in the right places at the right time ahead of incidents occurring. That way we are limiting that response time.
Now, officials say many wildfires are preventable, often caused by people throwing out their cigarettes, people burning debris, grilling, and of course those loose chains on vehicles. Officials also want to remind any welders out there to be careful of where their sparks fly. Reporting live, Kylie Dedman, Oklahoma's own News 9.
Kylie, thank you. Officials also add that they need the public's help. If you see fire or smoke, call 911. They say don't just assume that somebody else is going to call in that fire. They say they'd rather have repeated or numerous calls than no calls at all. Right now, there's only one county under a burn ban. It's down in Cotton County. And here's a reminder, burn bans can be issued by county commissioners and by the governor. Commissioners, though, must meet specific conditions before they can enact a burn ban, like certain drought conditions and temperatures. However, there is a bill right now moving through the state capitol. It's hoping to make it a little bit easier for county commissioners to call for those burn bans. It would allow commissioners to bypass certain criteria for a ban if they consult the agriculture commissioner and if there's a unanimous vote for it. That bill would also legally protect commissioners from any damages related to burn ban decisions. That bill was filed by the Senate Pro Tem, who was a volunteer firefighter for decades.
They were pretty well certain criteria had to be met in order for them to issue a county burn ban. So we rely on the governor to issue a burn ban, and it's kind of been the standard of this governor not to issue burn bans. So leave it to the local officials. They're really not authorized by this statute to do that.
So the bill now heads to the Senate floor.
At the state capitol, lawmakers will be considering a bill hoping to better protect children from fentanyl. A live look from the Lucky Star Skycam network at the state capitol this morning. That bill is actually called Leo's Law. It would require parents or guardians that are in DHS cases to be tested for fentanyl if officials believe a child could be exposed. Leo's Law was named in honor of 3-year-old Leo Toe. He died in 2024 from fentanyl poisoning under the care of his mother, who was under DHS supervision.
She completed her drug test. Leo was returned with her and passed away 3 or 4 months afterwards. So they didn't test her for it, so it just blew my mind.
A House committee will consider the bill at 4:30 today. We'll keep you posted on the outcome.
There's no repercussion, there's no real justice. It's just loopholes and pivoting and maneuvering.
A Metro family is outraged after learning that the woman who caused a DUI crash that left their daughter severely injured will be let out of prison early. Norman police say the suspect, Sarah Polston, was speeding with a blood alcohol level twice the legal limit when she crashed into Michaela Borrego back in 2023. Borrego was in a coma and had to relearn how to eat, speak, and walk. Well, Sarah Polston will now only serve 70 days of her 8-year sentence because of a state law allowing early release for first-time non-violent offenders. She's scheduled to be released this Thursday.
St. Anthony Hospital in Midtown was put on lockdown after a threat was reported yesterday. It comes just 2 days after a bomb threat was reported at the hospital. That was cleared on Saturday night. Police say someone called in that threat yesterday evening, but it was found not credible.
From ministry to a multi-million-dollar CEO, it's a story you have to hear to believe on this week's In the Spotlight podcast. I actually sit down with Mike Beckham. He is the founder of Simple Modern from Moore, Oklahoma. He built a $200 million drinkware company from the ground up, but says the real mission has always been giving back to others. How did he do it? Find out Wednesday when the podcast will drop at 10:30 a.m. on Oklahoma's own Originals YouTube channel. There's the QR code. You can scan that and it will take you right there for Wednesday morning on YouTube.
Pretty fascinating story and big career switch as well.
Well, I love, though, that he's still so ministry-minded because, I mean, he's personally given millions. The Simple Modern family gives $10 million to charity. And it's really just a story of that never-ending cycle of giving, giving, giving. And it's something really that we can all live by. And it's really a beautiful story.
Yeah, he has such a joyous heart,
Yes,
too. You can
yeah.
talk for days with him.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that conversation. Going to be filling that Simple Modern water bottle a few times today.
Yeah.
It is so dry out there, Lacey. You definitely need to bring the water.
It is dry, and it's going to get a lot drier. We actually have a dry line moving in, which is a separation from moist air and desert-like air punching in from the southwest. We get a southwest component to the wind today. That allows those temperatures to soar into the upper 70s, lower mid-80s, close to record highs. The wind, the low humidity means extreme wildfire danger. We'll talk about where the worst conditions will be. We'll time out the wind for you and talk about a cold front. It's coming. It brings February-like temps back for your weekend. That's coming up.
Taking a live look on the Lucky Star Skycam network. There's downtown. We'll have a live traffic report to get you ready for your Tuesday. It's right after this break. All right, it's 5:43. We want to remind you we are live right now on the News 9 YouTube channel, streaming there. You can scan this QR code. It'll take you to the correct video stream. We want you to subscribe to that channel and then hop into the comment section, the live chat, and leave us some words, maybe ask a question, say hi, and we'll read some of those later on.
Got 76 people watching already
There you
this
go.
morning. Good morning to you.
Yeah, a lot of folks wondering, okay, what do I need to do today? Just be aware, because you don't want to drag chains, throw out a cigarette, anything like that that could lead to a wildfire. It's possible today.
That would start easily. It wouldn't take much today. Small spark could do it. So very simple things like that could start big time fires. If you had a fire on your property over the last few days and you were burning, it's that time of year. Everyone burns their property as management before everything greens up. Well, that leaves sparks and embers and coals that can then start fires down the line. So all these things you got to kind of be mindful
What's
of.
our wind gust going to be today?
In the metro, about 40.
Okay.
But out west, 55 to 60.
Yeah.
So much stronger. That's where the real extreme conditions will be. And just a 40-mile-an-hour wind, that was your trash can over, your lawn furniture, door dent warning on a day like today. So just be careful. The strongest winds are right now coming across the mountain range to the west, across the Rockies. The red on the map are measured wind gusts over 55 miles per hour. And that is starting to spread into our panhandle coming in from the west. And as the winds continue to pick up today, dry line moves in. And this is just showing you kind of the wind field. It's not just Oklahoma, it's Texas. All up and down the plains will be very windy. If you're traveling today, high profile vehicle, maybe you've got a big rig or a fifth wheel, it's going to be kind of a hang on tight, white knuckle kind of ride today. Winds could be strong enough in portions of the plains, especially to the west of I-35, that could blow over high profile vehicles. So it's one of those types of days. Yeah, no cigarette butts being thrown out. Check the towing chains, your tires, clear your property of any brush or leaves. And if you have had burns, please be diligent and monitor those on a day like today. High to extreme wildfire danger. That's the headline. It's one of those days. What the weather team does here at News 9. We have plans with the trackers. David's been coordinating for days, just getting everyone in position. Today, Mason Dunn will be in Bob Mills Sky News 9. He'll be in the air bringing you live shots if we see fires. But on a day like today, a lot of times, everyone is so diligent and so careful, does their part, and we don't end up with big fires. What we have to watch for are power lines bouncing, arcing, welders, things that necessarily wouldn't be big fire causers on a normal day could cause fires, even if everyone is careful. So 20 to 40 mile-an-hour winds, that's going to be the kind of average range across central and eastern Oklahoma. But out west, that's where we'll see the 40, 55 mile-an-hour gusts and some gusts over 60 in the panhandle. That causes kind of tough conditions for folks with respiratory issues because it kicks up dust this time of year, especially with the drought and everything dormant. So hazy skies, poor visibility possible in western Oklahoma. The skies will have that look to it on a windy day. We also have cloud cover in place, high thin clouds that are streaming on in. So definitely a hazy sky today. High wind warnings just on the kind of the western edge there of the plains and the eastern edge of the mountains. That's where the windiest conditions will be. We'll see snow flying, travel advisories, winter storm warnings, so much moisture with these areas of low pressure, but that moisture does not make it into Oklahoma, so the drought rages on. Currently on our Lucky Star Sky Cam network, as you head out and as the kiddos are getting ready for school this morning, it's already breezy. And guys, all you need is a light jacket. We are in the 50s and low 60s. The current winds are 20 to 30, already a little breezy, but look, 40 mile-an-hour gusts coming into the panhandle. It's beginning. Oklahoma, the winds are picking up. Record warm low is 58 degrees. So far, we've only dipped to 60 at Will Rogers. We'll see. We may be record warm to start the day, close to record highs this afternoon. 79 is my forecast high, but the record is 80, so it'll be close. 80s and mid-80s today in western and southwestern Oklahoma. As the dry line punches in, again, that's the dividing line between kind of the humid air to the east and then just desert-like air to the west. When the humidity drops, that allows storm or fires to possibly spread so much quicker. Some of the latest data says the spread rate today is close to 40 to 50 yards per minute. Okay, that is very fast. We'll see winds gusting 35, close to 40. They may back off for a while into the afternoon slightly in central Oklahoma, but out west, it's windy all day. Overnight tonight and tomorrow morning, winds are fairly light, but they pick up tomorrow with gusts to 25, gusts out west 35 to 45. So stronger. High fire danger continues. Unfortunately, every one of these areas of low pressure just give us wind and very little in the way of rain chances. So tonight, winds are 10 to 20. Tomorrow, 15 to 25. 25, gusts to 30, 70s tomorrow for highs. But with the winds picking up, very low humidity tomorrow, we still have moderate to high wildfire danger. It continues right into Thursday with the cold front moving in. Then we're cooler, humidity's higher. We kind of help put a damper on that fire threat for a few days before it kicks back up midweek next week. Back to you guys at the news desk.
Well, the Thunder will be hosting the Brooklyn Nets this Friday. It's going to be a big night at the Paycom Center for News 9. First of all, David and Lacey will be there. You can come meet them at the Paycom Center before the game starts. They'll be set up at the 100 level concourse at 5:30. It's right on that main level as you're walking in. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock, so come say hi to David and Lacey. And if you can't make it to the Paycom Center, guess what? You can watch the game free right here on News 9. So it's Friday night, a big News 9 night with the Thunder.
5:49 right now. Let's get a check of your morning drive. Taking a live look from our news tracker, Lex Stanfield. He is out on I-40, about to pass right underneath the Skydance Bridge. So far, things looking good out here in this area on I-40. No major wrecks to report to you. But we also want to take a live look on our Lucky Star Skycam network. Look at that Norman camera bouncing around here as a little bit of wind coming through there. But so far, no major incidents here as well. We'll keep you posted throughout the morning for your drive.
Still to come, an Oklahoma teenager set back with health challenges is finding her voice through her school's ag program. How it's giving her confidence. Something good next.
Welcome back. We are streaming live on our YouTube channel. We did ask you to subscribe to leave your comments. So here's what you said. Crystal says, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Thank you all so much for keeping us safe All of you are amazing. Thanks, Crystal.
Crystal.
Carolyn says Lacey is looking refreshed and ready on this beautiful Tuesday morning.
I see you, girl. Lacey Swope, are you Carolyn?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Did you feel bad for me
That's what it
yesterday?
was. I sent her a check. I said, please compliment IE.
Y'all are great. Okay, Renee says, let's be wildfire
Yes,
ready. That is the big story today.
Preach it, sister. Yes, that is the goal, trying to get the word out. Everyone just be careful, be diligent. Today's one of those days we may not see a fire. We hope we don't. But if a fire gets started, it could spread so quickly. It'd be very tough for crews to get a handle on it for quite a while.
Yeah, dangerous for sure. You just got to keep telling everyone, reminding them again, because we haven't really been in this situation for a little while, you know?
And the drought continues. The drought rages on. We had some rain, of course, but when the winds pick up, that dries off that surface moisture very quickly. And with highs like this, 70s, 80s, record level heat today, very low humidity, it could be a big day. So our team's geared up, ready to go. We'll have updates through the day.
We've got fire crews already staging in Woodward and Guyman. That seems to be the focus out there, west
Definitely
and northwest.
the worst conditions are in the west and northwest. Gusts 55 to 60.
All right, we'll be talking more about it coming up. But now for something good to start your morning, a 9th grader in Meeker with a birth defect was told she had less than a 10% chance to live. Well, after 17 surgeries, she is now thriving, finding new life and a new voice. Our Mike Glover shows us the school program making a difference.
The first day of class at a new school can be a really scary time, especially when that comes with emotional and physical challenges.
I have high-functioning autism, I have dyslexia, I have a speech disorder.
Challenges that led to her parents' decision to homeschool her.
We homeschooled in order to help with her health.
But last year for 8th grade, Maddie felt it was time for a change.
She decided, I'm ready to go to school.
A decision that came with some real challenges.
I definitely got bullied for quite a while.
But instead of being defeated by her challenges, she grew from them.
It helped me realize that having a few close friends that are worth a million than having a million friends that are worth nothing.
And Maddie found those close friends and her voice through agricultural education.
She was very afraid to talk to anyone, and now she'll joke with me and mess around with me.
So I currently have 5 aloe vera plants.
Her focus has been her aloe vera plants that she plans to one day turn into a business.
These are just some samples that I made. This is a facial serum.
And as passionate as she is about her school project, her real passion showed up.
Ooh, bug.
Yeah, Maddie is really into bugs.
We have a horsefly, which would be in the order Diptera.
And trust me, we haven't even scratched the surface of her knowledge.
I have like 2 tackle boxes.
And for Maddie, there simply isn't a vacation from passion.
I even went to Disney over the summer, and I have a little bug catcher in a jar. And I brought that with me to Disney so I could catch bugs while I'm at the park.
Finding your voice through your passion.
This was just me having fun.
That is something good. I'm Mike Glover for Oklahoma's Own.
Still to come, protecting Oklahomans from rising power costs due to data centers. There's a new bill making its way through the state capitol. We'll be talking about it at 6.
any situation like this is unfortunate for all involved. You know, we get called to these situations sometimes and don't know what's going to happen, and sometimes we're faced with split-second decisions.
A Metro man is found dead at the same home where another man is shot by Oklahoma City police. I'm Lacey Lowry. Right now on News 9 at 6 a.m. Updates on this developing story. Plus this.
Her life is forever changed, and she should not be the only one suffering the consequences of Sarah Polston.
Well, Sarah Polston, that Metro woman convicted in a DUI crash that seriously injured a 20-year-old, is set to be released from prison, reportedly serving 70 days of her 8-year sentence. I'm Robin Marsh. The victim's mother is talking. You'll hear it next.
I'm Colby Thielen. Lacey Swope says that we have extreme fire danger in the state today. Coming up, how fire officials say you should keep yourself and your community safe. It's ahead.
Live from downtown Oklahoma City, Oklahoma's own News 9 starts now.
Good Tuesday morning. Glad you're with us. That is the big story today. The fire danger, very real. It's been so dry. The rain just wasn't enough to keep us out of the fire danger.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about it, seems like for the next few hours. Hold on tight, right?
Dry conditions, super windy. Let's get over to the Bob Mills Weather Center. Check in with Lacey Swope. Just got to be aware today, Lace.
You absolutely have to be aware because everything is still brown. It's still dormant. Until we start to green things up, this is our typical wildfire season. Then you add on the drought, and yeah, that just worsens the conditions. It's usually our windiest time of the year as well. Now, this is fire video from Val and Amy, yes, Val and Amy Castor, about said Amy something else. I don't know what was coming to my mind, but Val and Amy, I know you, you know them. They were out yesterday bringing you video, bringing you live updates. This was from Cedar Valley, that's Logan County. You could see the smoke from Oklahoma City from this fire. Now, the winds weren't out of control yesterday, and this fire burned for hours and hours. Fire officials jumped on this quickly. No structures were lost. Let me show you the winds today compared to yesterday. This is what we're expecting starting at about 10 a.m. It's already windy this morning, but 20 to 40 mile-an-hour winds just howl all day. That's not extreme in central Oklahoma, but you get into the west, 30 to 55 mile-per-hour winds, some gusts over 60 into the panhandle. The wind will already greet you as you head out on your Tuesday. That's a live shot from our Lucky Star Skycam network, live from Chickasha. We're 62 degrees right now. Just had a gust to 36 at Will Rogers. The winds continue to gradually pick on up. After the sun comes up, it gets much windier. Record warm low this morning, and we'll be close to record highs this afternoon, topping out near 80 degrees. We'll see 80s into western Oklahoma. I'll show you the wind timeline. We'll talk about the humidity when we have the worst conditions today, and this continues for the next several days. Your 9 days coming up.
In southeast Oklahoma City, a man is found dead inside the same home where a suspect is shot by police. This all happened around 6 p.m. yesterday near Reno and Sunny Lane. Oklahoma City police say they were called about a man who assaulted his neighbor and was shooting at people. Well, officers say when they got to the scene, confronted the man, he refused to put down his gun and they shot him. A neighbor described what they saw.
I guess the suspect with police officers was on the ground. He had been shot. He was like writhing in pain, and it was about maybe 5 to 6 minutes.
The suspect survived. Police say they then went into the home where the suspect had barricaded himself, and they found another man dead inside. They are saying that death is a homicide. They're also investigating again what led up to this suspect who survived the shooting. We know the shooting suspect is stable this morning. We'll be following that story.
Metro family tells News 9 they are in shock this morning after learning that the woman convicted in a DUI crash that seriously injured their loved one is set to be released from prison early after serving only 70 days of an 8-year sentence. Investigators say the suspect, Sarah Polston's blood alcohol content was twice the legal limit when she crashed into Michaela Borrego's car back in 2023. Michaela suffered a traumatic brain injury. She has spent months learning how to speak and walk again. Polston was sentenced to 8 years, but now we've learned she qualifies for release under a state law that allows first-time non-violent offenders to get out of prison after only serving 30 days.
This is not someone who just stole a car or someone who possessed drugs. This is someone who
almost killed a vibrant 20-year-old.
There's no repercussion, there's no real justice. It's just loopholes and pivoting and maneuvering.
Again, she was sentenced to 8 years in prison. She served 70 days. The district attorney and Michaela's family now are pushing for DOC to not release the woman. She is expected, though, to be released from the prison system this Thursday. We're watching what happens.
Guthrie police say a car that was found in Guthrie Lake over the weekend was reported stolen last month. Oklahoma Highway Patrol's dive team pulled that car from the water yesterday morning. They checked it out and only found fish inside the car. Still no word on exactly how the vehicle got into the lake in the first place. And we now know the name of the man arrested after a standoff with police on the northwest side of Oklahoma City. It happened on Sunday right near Northwest Expressway and Council. Police say it started when Philip Beauchot assaulted and threatened to kill his wife. We're told the woman made it out, but the suspect, Beauchot, stayed inside with their 3 children. Officers eventually got inside that home. They arrested him. Beauchot was booked on a kidnapping and assault complaint. The kids were found safe.
Your time now 6:06. A look at your traffic this morning. And here is a live look from our news tracker, Lex Stanfield. He's driving right now on I-44, checking things out. He says everything's looking good on the interstate there at I-44. We'll check some other main thoroughfares coming up, but right now, no crashes to pass along.
Well, it is the big story this morning. The next several days could bring especially risky conditions as all of the ingredients for wildfires are in the mix. We're talking dry weather. It's going to be warmer out there. Just the perfect environment for fires to spark and spread quickly.
News 9's Kylie Dedman spoke with local and state fire officials about what you can do to protect wildfires from starting and spreading. Kylie, good morning.
Hey Lacey, good morning. Yes, fire officials say it just takes one spark to start a huge wildfire, especially with the conditions turning hotter, drier, and windier. That risk is elevating and ramping up fast. Now, we've been out here for already 2 hours and the winds are already starting to ramp up and elevate already. Now, fire officials are already prepped and ready to go for what could be a very busy week turned into a very busy wildfire season.
Now we have the drought. We also have dormant vegetation, low humidity winds, and that's a recipe for wildfires in Oklahoma.
With drought conditions intensifying across Oklahoma, fire officials say those dry, windy conditions are exactly why rapid response is critical to getting ahead of wildfires before they spread.
So our key is to get to these grass fires as fast as we can, commit as many resources to the scene as possible so we can extinguish these fires before they grow to be larger wildfires.
Public Information Officer for the Oklahoma City Fire Department, Scott Douglas, says February, March, and April is peak wildfire season.
Our concern right now with this wildfire season is we had a lot of rain in the spring through the summer, and that caused way more vegetation growth.
Officials stay prepared and ready by leaning into their partnerships with local fire departments, the Oklahoma Forestry Service, the Oklahoma Emergency Management, and the National Weather Service.
We are basically in 24/7 communications with them, assessing the fire environment, keeping in mind that it's not just fire weather, but it is also the fuels input.
Deputy Fire Management Chief, Oklahoma Forestry Services, Drew Daly, says they pre-position brush trucks across the state, depending on where the highest fire threat is going to be on the Oklahoma landscape.
You know, making sure that we are focusing on having the resources in the right places at the right time ahead of incidents occurring. That way we are limiting that response time.
Officials say many wildfires are preventable, often caused by people throwing out their cigarettes or grilling, or having vehicles having loose chains attached to their vehicles that are dragging on that concrete or pavement. Now, officials also want to remind any welders to be careful of any of their sparks that are flying off and to make sure they know where those sparks are flying off to. Reporting live, Kylie Dedman, Oklahoma's own News 9.
Good information. Thank you, Kylie. If you see fire or smoke, call 911. Don't assume someone else already called. Firefighters would rather have several repeated calls about the same fire than no calls at all.
Trying to get the word out this morning. I mean, you've got to be weather aware on a day like this.
People care too.
Yeah, maybe if that grinding and welding can be done inside today, at least would be a day to do it. Let's talk to Lacey about it. Lacey, that's always the risk this time of year.
Yeah, smallest spark causes big problems on a day like today when the humidity is less than 10 to 15%. So that moisture in the air, that helps kind of slow fire spread. When it's that low, fires spread so rapidly. All the vegetation still brown, still dormant, and there's a lot of fuel, as you just heard, because we had such a wet spring last year. So all that green, all the spring, the summer, yeah, turned into this. It's fuel for fires now. Our windiest conditions, we'll detail that coming up. Temperatures in the 60s this morning, guys, close to record warm lows. In full weather, we'll talk about your statewide wind timeline, and a cold front hits Thursday. Coming up.
Also coming up, a suspect is in custody after troopers say he fled a traffic stop on the Turner Turnpike. News 9 was there for the arrest. We'll show you. It's ahead.
Welcome back. Well, what a story. From ministry to a multi-million-dollar CEO. It's a story you really have to hear to believe. On this week's In the Spotlight podcast, I sit down with Mike Beckham. He's the founder of Simple Modern. From Moore, Oklahoma, he has built a $200 million drinkware company from the ground up, but says the real mission is giving back to others. How did he do it? We'll find out in our podcast. It is released at 10:30 Wednesday on Oklahoma's Own Originals YouTube channel. There's the QR code. You can snap that. We'll have more for you on our website, news9.com.
Can't wait to hear just what he must have thought seeing this business take off the way that it has. It's so wild.
Well, it's really a miracle story, and he is kind of in the charitable giving. He has given over $10 million through Simple Modern to nonprofits here in the state.
Yeah.
And I think it's really a blessing because his whole thing was like, I'm going to tithe from the very beginning, and now it's even more than that.
Yeah.
And so it's like you can't outgive God is really his message.
That's great. 10:30 tomorrow. Can't wait for it. All right. Bus stop forecast this morning.
Put rocks in the pockets of the little kids.
Oh, boy.
Winds are picking up for sure. You got to anchor them down. Watch the little dogs, okay? Watch the little yippy dogs on a day like today because the wind's 40 miles per hour. If you're in western Oklahoma, a whole lot stronger. So that's where the worst conditions will be. In the metro today, it's definitely going to be breezy. It's going to be blustery, and it's going to be warm. We're already at record warmth out the door this morning in the low 60s. So as the kiddos are getting ready to head to school, you'll notice cloud cover overhead now. Those clouds streamed in overnight. That works like a blanket overnight, keeping that heat in. We're in the upper 70s later today. That's close to record highs, and the winds gust. They're already gusty, but they pick up after 10 a.m. and they gust all the way into the afternoon, backing off this evening and tonight. Now, yesterday, this is a time lapse from yesterday afternoon, our American Fidelity cam there on the Broadway extension in Britain. It was pointed northbound at Cedar Valley. That is a big time fire that was ongoing. You could see it from the metro, but just to show you, the conditions were nothing like they'll be today. And we did have several fires yesterday. That fire, Val and Amy Castor, they were on that. It did not cause any structure loss. There was also a fire up near Woodward. Kyle Wilson was on. Several fires that were either small grass fires or prescribed burns. Be careful if you've burned over the last several days. Please watch your property closely. The fire that you had to just clear your land could burn down your neighbor's home if you don't watch it, okay? Those embers could reignite and go down the line for miles on a day like today because of how strong the winds will be. Now, the windiest conditions will be back to the west, right outside of the mountain range, coming into the plains. That's where winds will be 60 to 70 miles per hour in portions of the central plains. Behind this storm system, some colder air. There's also quite a bit of moisture, but the moisture, the precip, the snow, the rain, that is not in the forecast for Oklahoma. Now, these are the winds right now. You'll notice in Oklahoma City had a gust of 36 at Will Rogers. Some of the airports there, 30, 45. The windiest conditions are right on the peaks of the mountains coming in now, 60 to 70 miles per hour. So what does that do for Oklahoma? Well, here's the forecast for the wind speeds. Now, you'll notice the zone in green, which is a big chunk of our viewing area. Winds are 30 to 40 today, but out west from Mangum to Sayre, Elk City, Clinton, all the way up to Sealing, Woodward, Buffalo, will have winds 30, 55 on the high end with gusts over 60 out in the panhandle. Winds will absolutely howl once you get into West Kansas, panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas. Big time blowing dust is expected, and this graphic showing you that we'll have hazy skies, probably poor breathing conditions today just from that dust being kicked up on a day like today, making those hazy skies. Could even limit visibility some in portions of western Oklahoma, and of course if you combine that with smoke, that can cause big time problems. A reminder today too for drivers, watch opening your door, watch the kiddos this morning, opening your car door in the parking lot, but also do not drive into smoke over the roadways, over the highways, over the interstates. There could be a wreck there. You don't know what you're driving into, and it could be a bad deal. We've lost Oklahomans from doing that very thing. So just be careful today. Don't do anything that could start a wildfire. 62 degrees is the temperature as you step out. Dress for that. A light jacket's all you'll need. Winds are 25, 35 already, but the strongest winds are just coming in to the western panhandle, and that just continues to ramp up after daybreak. 58 degrees is the record warm low. We have not gotten that cool this morning, so far we are breaking that record, and we'll be close to the record high, which is 80 degrees. As the dry line moves in, our hottest conditions will be in the west and southwest. 85 in February. Yeah, that's close to records in southwest Oklahoma, and then that causes the humidity, that southwest component of the wind, causes the humidity to drop less than 15% out west, which means fires could spread 50 yards in a minute. It's kind of that spread rate potential for today. So that means high to extreme wildfire danger is going to be the forecast. Now we have several storm systems coming up that will ramp up the wind. And this time of year when the wind picks up, so does the fire risk. Our current storm is right here, but there's more lined up that will give us windy conditions for tomorrow and for Thursday. So tonight in the 30s and 40s. Tomorrow, here's your Wednesday. The record is 78. We'll be at about 72 tomorrow. We'll see south winds 15 to 25, some gusts to 30, and that means, again, we'll have to watch for wildfires, especially in the far west and into the panhandle where there's a moderate to a high fire risk once again. Thursday, windy conditions, cold front moves in, winds change direction. We're in the 50s and 60s by the afternoon, but the high fire danger continues. Winds come down on Friday, so do the temperatures, and it's chilly in the mornings for your weekend with highs back around February standards. Back to you guys.
All right, Lacey, thank you. Here's a reminder. We are streaming live right now on our YouTube channel. You can scan this QR code right here. That'll take you to the page. Just jump on there, subscribe, and then you can join in the chat. We'll read those comments and questions throughout the morning.
Your time now, 6:20. A quick check of traffic. Our news tracker, Lex Stanfield, is on I-40 eastbound just before the I-44 junction. He says things are looking good on the west side of the metro. No crashes to pass along. This has been a good day on crashes. Nothing to report. We'll check again in 10 minutes. We're back with more right after this.
You had the exact same play at both ends in the last play of the game. The exact same play. The exact same play. So I need the new commissioner of the Horizon League to explain to me what a technical foul is when I don't leave the box, I don't curse, I'm not demonstrative.
Whoa. Ooh, tell us how you really feel. That's Doug Gottlieb. You remember him? He's a former OSU basketball player. You might have seen him on ESPN as well. Well, he's now a head coach, and he's going viral because of this rant at the post-game conference. He's now the coach for University of Wisconsin Green Bay, and he went on a tirade asking why the refs gave him a technical foul in his team's loss. Gottlieb, of course, played for the Cowboys from '97 to 2000, and now he's a head coach and getting his team fired up.
Did he just drop a F-bomb and then say, I don't cuss?
I don't know.
Okay, I think I heard that.
I think they gave him another technical for that interview.
I don't
Doug,
cuss,
he was always so colorful at OSU.
Colorful.
That's the
the
best
way to
word,
put it.
right,
Yep.
Lacey? I
He
mean,
almost broke that microphone. My gosh.
I do that sometimes too.
What's he like in the locker
you
room?
women working with us, Colby, we push
come
you
on.
over the edge.
I don't cuss, but
I'll lose my religion a little later.
Oh, Lacey, what do you got for us for the outdoor
Colby can
forecast?
be colorful, but we drive him to it. We do. We own it.
We own it.
Hey, I want to show you this video. It's pretty cool. So this is from Alex White near the Salt Plains area, north central Oklahoma. He's got the feeder set up there, and this is video of the turkeys and the white-tailed deer because they had about an inch of rain in northern Oklahoma. So there's a little puddle. This looks like Snow White to me.
Yes.
Look at the raccoon.
Gorgeous.
This is so. Oh, there's a raccoon in there too.
Yes.
Oh my God!
And then look at the doe. She's like, hey, what do you, oh, hi.
Okay,
Hi,
I'll
sister.
share.
Are y'all watching this?
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
That is so
they're
cool.
gonna help me clean my house later.
It's just, yes, absolutely. Whistle while you work, Colby. So there you go. So yeah, the feeder there, a little bit of water. The wildlife is absolutely
So pretty.
amazing. I know. Send us your pictures. Now that rain was great. All the moisture that we had, we'll take every drop. Did not eradicate the drought. And we have more windy conditions, which dries out that top layer of the soil and the vegetation. So wildfire danger, high to extreme today. Winds out west could gust 55, close to 60, and it's windy again tomorrow. Be careful today. Temperatures close to records this morning and records this afternoon. Talking about heat, we'll have it all in your 9-day coming up.
Will be hosting the Brooklyn Nets the Thunder hosting the Brooklyn Nets this Friday. You can meet our David Payne and Lacey Swope at Paycom Center. Before that, they'll set up at 5:30 at the big News 9 booth on the 100 level concourse. Swing by, say hi, take photos, sign pictures. It's going to be a great time. Then tip-off is at 7 that night. We're back after this.
You're watching Oklahoma's own News 9 this morning.
Taking a look at some top stories at 5:30, and new into the newsroom, Reverend Jesse Jackson has died at the age of 84. Jackson was a prominent figure in the civil rights movement and was with Martin Luther King Jr. when he was assassinated. Jackson is survived by his wife and children.
And we now know the name of the man arrested after an hours-long standoff here in the metro with police on Sunday. It all unfolded near Northwest Expressway and Council Road. Police tell News 9 Philip Beauchot assaulted and threatened to kill a woman. He was arrested. He's been booked on kidnapping and assault charges.
Oklahoma City police released body cam video showing a canine leading them to a carjacking suspect. Police say that man hit the victim in the face with a gun and stole his car. The suspect was later found hiding underneath a trailer.
Whoa. Oh, he got him.
Very good boy right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a tight space. That
Yeah.
dog found him in there, right?
Man, they're so good.
Those cameras catch everything now, man. We get to see it all.
I love when they put cameras on dogs just in general, like just watch them do stuff.
Oh, man. Our tracker's going to have the cameras out today because it's going to be a windy one for sure. Here's Lacey with the details.
Hey guys, good morning to you. Just want to point out, if you're getting ready, trying to get your kiddos out the door, get to school, it is 6:30. You do not have an extra hour. It is 6:30 this morning. Okay, we are getting closer and closer to rush hour, and we do have windy conditions. It's windy this morning. It's about to get really windy later today. Trackers will be out. We will also have Mason Dunn and Bob Mills Sky News 9 bringing you live pictures. Do what you can to prevent wildfires today. Don't toss out the cigarette butts ever, especially on a day like today. Check your towing chains, your tires. Make sure nothing can cause a spark on the pavement. Clear your property, your brush of any brush, leaves, rakes everything away from any of your outbuildings, and monitor any prescribed burns that you have had on your property, because on a day like today, those could spark additional fires. Wind advisories already posted, high wind warnings out in the panhandle. Well, it will be the windiest for sure. Windiest conditions west of I-35, but even through the metro, gusts 20, 30 miles per hour, gusts to 40 on the high end, and out west 55 to 60. Now it's breezy this morning as you step out on our Lucky Star Sky Cam network. It is 62 degrees, cloudy skies, close to record warm lows. We've had gusts over 35 in the metro already, and gusts close to 40 into the afternoon. So we go from the 60s to the mid upper 70s, close to 80 degrees later today. We'll talk about the statewide wind timeline coming up. Back to you.
Oklahoma City police are looking for a suspect after they say someone was stabbed at a Southwest Oklahoma City home. This all happened around 10 o'clock yesterday morning near Southwest 36th and Penn. Officers say the stabbing victim was attacked in the front yard and was taken to the hospital. We don't know their condition, and right now no suspect information has been released yet. And some chaos on the turnpike. A suspect is in custody after the Highway Patrol says he ran from a traffic stop. There's the video. OHP says this all happened yesterday near Chandler. Our cameras were rolling as law enforcement finally took him into custody. There's the video. Right now we're asking why troopers were trying to pull him over in the first place.
An Oklahoma death row inmate is now moved to solitary confinement due to breaking a major rule. David Ware was sentenced to death for killing Tulsa Police Sergeant Craig Johnson and injuring Tulsa officer Arash Zarkashan. The DOC reports they did find a contraband phone in Ware's jail cell. The prison considers this the most egregious rules violation. Ware has been moved to a maximum security single cell unit.
It is the most, it's because either people that can't live with other people that have to be single-celled, or because of behavior issues, we move them into that unit.
And the DOC says Ware's punishment could last between 30 days and actually 6 months. Right now it's 6:35 on a Tuesday morning, taking a look at the morning drive for you. A live look from our Lucky Star Skycam network all over the metro this morning. Mathis Brothers Cam showing the I-40, I-44 interchange. This looks like it's possibly our Norman cam this morning. Let me make sure about that. And it looks like we could have a little bit of commotion there on I-35. We're watching the roads for you as well. This is out on the east side of the metro this morning from our SSM cam out by I-40 and Douglas. Everything looking good there. We'll check what was going on down there by Norman coming up in just a moment.
6:35 right now, taking a live look at the state capitol. A bill that would charge data centers more energy usage during peak periods is moving forward at the state capitol. It comes after multiple companies announced they would build data centers here in Oklahoma. But many Oklahomans have been concerned about these facilities taxing the power grid or water resources. One state representative says multiple lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are now interested in data center issues.
It's not too often you have something that passes unanimously with bipartisan support, but I think that really speaks to this issue of how many Oklahomans are talking about data centers and protecting our water and making sure that people, especially on fixed incomes, aren't paying more than their fair share.
So next up, that bill will head to a full committee before going to the House floor for a vote.
All right, 6:36. I got the time right this time. Let's get over to the Bob Mills Weather Center and check in with Lacey Swope. I lost an hour there somewhere earlier.
I thought, oh my goodness, we still have a long time. I looked at Colby and I was like, oh, it's okay. We got it. I believe everything you say. That's the problem.
Time and space doesn't exist inside the News Now studio.
There we go. There we go.
We're in our bubble. Your morning hoping it's off to a great start. 6:36 and the fire danger is the headline today. It's going to be warm. It's already in the 60s. As you step outside, we'll be in the 70s and 80s later today. Record highs, record warm lows. Very warm for February, and when you tack on the wind, the low humidity, it could be a bad day for fires. We'll talk about things you can do, the wind timeline. It's all coming up.
Also ahead, a woman sentenced to 8 years for a DUI crash that left a 20-year-old with a traumatic brain injury is now set to be released after serving just 70 days. Coming up, the victim's family's reaction, their outrage. It's next.
All right, check this out. Kind of crazy video from Breckenridge, Texas, kind of western Texas. A huge wind turbine caught fire on Saturday. Look at that thing just smoking. Fire officials say they think this was caused by a lightning strike. That's pretty high up there too, right there. No injuries reported, but it always makes for crazy video.
Giant lightning rod sitting out there.
We have a lot of them in Oklahoma too, that's for
And
sure.
We've seen this scene play out in Oklahoma. We've seen them hit during storms, and yeah, it's always scary looking. You see that from a long, long ways away.
We got to watch the winds today. I mean, it's like kind of everyone, as you're waking up, be on alert. It could be a dangerous day out there.
It could be, for sure. Fires get started. No one knows if they'll get started, where they will get started, but we do know where the conditions are the worst. We know where, if fires start, how rapidly they could spread, and that's why officials are staging across the state. Fire crews on high alert today.
In Woodward and Guyman already
That's the Forestry
this morning.
Service, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah, getting ready, and then all the local fire departments are preparing for a day like today of what could happen. And the storm trackers here at News 9 will be out. David will have the latest. We'll have Mason Dunn and Bob Mills, Sky News 9, bringing updates if it comes to that, because it will be very windy today. It's already windy this morning. And oh, by the way, as you head out, that's a live shot from our SSM Health Cam. Oh, it's going to be a beautiful sunrise. Isn't that pretty? We've got clouds that have rolled in overnight, so gorgeous colors, very vibrant pinks, and it's just going to get better here over the next 20 minutes or so before the sun officially comes above the horizon. Sunrise is in about 45 minutes. 30 minutes, about 30 minutes. 62 degrees is our current temperature. It is definitely on the warm side for February. Our lows are in the 20s and low 30s on average. Yeah, we're in the low 60s. We are at record warmth to start the day, and we have a lot of wind and low humidity, more heat in the forecast. This map is always critical when we have fires, so this is going to be the area where we had multiple fires yesterday. Every red dot is a hot spot, okay? When you look down from space, some of these were wildfires, some of them were small grass fires, some of them were prescribed burns, but any way you look at it, there was fire on your property, whether you wanted it there or not, over the last several days. You have to make sure that does not spread, reignite, because that is very possible. There's no statewide burn ban, nothing like that, but drought rages on. There is one burn ban down in Cotton County. If that changes through the day, of course, we'll bring you the updates, but I just checked and there's still the lone burn ban. As far as the winds, high wind warnings up and down the plains. If you're traveling today out of Oklahoma, maybe you're hopping on 35 or going to head up to I-70 in Kansas, it can be dangerous for high profile vehicles on a day like today when the winds will be gusting over 70 miles per hour in that zone. As far as the moisture with this storm, there's snow, there's rain, great for all the folks to the west of I-35, but that's not going to make it to Oklahoma. Winds are already picking up to the west, picking up in the Panhandle. Those are the wind gusts in the last 5 minutes. Have had a gust to 30 in Guthrie, 36 at Will Rogers. We've had gusts over 40 in the Panhandle, and that just gets stronger, especially as we get to about 9-10 a.m. Now, the temperatures are in the 50s, low 60s. Our record warm low is 58, set back in 2011, and we look to break that this morning. Record high is 80. I'm forecasting 79. The clouds stick around. Now, the cloud cover actually helps with the wind in the metro. Even though it's going to be windy, it's not going to be as windy as the west because those clouds stop that mixing from above to occur. So that actually will kind of be a blessing in disguise today. Despite the cloud cover, the southwest wind still heats us up into the 70s and then the 80s back to the west. This, of course, western Oklahoma, the west and northwest is where we'll have the worst conditions. When I say the worst conditions, what kind of value am I talking? Well, the green is 20 to 40 mile an hour winds. That's windy, that's moderate to high fire danger, but where it gets extreme is when the winds get above 40, and we'll have gusts 45 to 55 at times, not continually, those will be gusts in the west, gusts 60, maybe as high as 70 into our Panhandle. As the dry line nudges in with this upper level storm, that causes the humidity to drop down less than 20%, some areas less than 15%, and when the air is that dry, fires spread very rapidly, of course, fueled by extreme winds. And sometimes fires just create their own weather system, their own small environment, and can fuel more wind. That's what could happen. It's called a firestorm, and that type of a scenario could play out if a fire gets started. If we don't get a spark, or something to ignite, we'll be sitting pretty today. We hope that's the case, but high to extreme wildfire danger. As I mentioned, our crews are ready to go. We'll bring you updates if fires begin today. It will kick up the dust. It's already a little hazy this morning. You'll notice more of that later today. Could even limit visibility with blowing dust in the west, and blowing dust is likely in the panhandle of Oklahoma, Texas, West Kansas today. Big time upper level storm. There's actually 3 areas of low pressure that are all kind of merging into this big trough off the west coast. So it keeps our windy days kind of back to back to back here over the next few days. Winds start to back off tonight. Now tonight, winds will be 5-15, gusts to 20. But tomorrow morning, they pick back up. Not as strong. Humidity is still very low tomorrow, and we still get back into the lower and mid 70s. Here's the winds for your Wednesday. 15-25 with gusts 30-35 in the west, maybe even gusts over 45 in the panhandle. The humidity very low, still moderate to high wildfire danger, and we'll do it again Thursday. Thursday, a front moves in, so winds change direction, but they're still gusting up to 40 miles per hour, so moderate to high fire danger again. Friday, winds aren't as strong. We're 52 in the afternoon. Cooler for the weekend, and we'll watch high fire danger return midweek next week. And that's your 9-day. Don't go anywhere. We have more right after this.
We do have some breaking news right now on the southeast side of Oklahoma City. I want to take you to this crash. Some serious damage here. This is at Southeast 29th and Eastern. This is a live look from our news tracker, Lex Stanfield. You can see a lot of damage to the cars right here, and this is in the middle of the intersection. Our Brianna Brown is there, and she's reporting that police and fire are now directing traffic through this area. We're also getting reports that IMSA, the ambulance, is on the way to the scene. So we're working to learn now the cause of this crash, the extent of any possible injuries, but you can tell a lot of damage here at this intersection, Southeast 29th and Eastern.
Your time now 6:50. A Norman mother convicted in a drunk driving crash that nearly killed someone is expected to be released from prison this week after serving only 70 days of her 8-year sentence.
In fact, family of the injured 20-year-old left with life-changing injuries say they are outraged by this decision. Lisa Monahan in studio with what they're doing to try to fight this release. Lisa?
Well, Sarah Polston pleaded guilty to driving drunk, speeding 66 in a 25-mile-per-hour zone, and then crashing into 20-year-old Michaela Borrego, leaving her with a traumatic brain injury. Now, the Borrego family expected Polston would serve 8 of her 15-year prison sentence, but as a nonviolent offender, state law is now allowing for her release on Thursday. And under the law, Sarah Polston is eligible because she will be on an ankle monitor when she gets out. She's had no prior criminal history before that crash in 2023. She's also completed rehab programs and kept a clean disciplinary record during her just 70 days in prison. Prosecutors say this law needs to be changed, and the Department of Corrections should consider the facts in the case. Polston's blood alcohol level was twice the legal limit when she caused Borrego's traumatic brain injury, one that put her in a coma, and 3 years later, she is still learning how to walk, talk, and eat again.
This is not someone who just stole a car or someone who possessed drugs. This is someone who almost killed a vibrant 20-year-old.
There's no repercussion.
And that's District Attorney Jennifer Austin, who is calling on DOC to deny this release, saying the legislature passed the law to ease prison overcrowding, but should not be used for someone who nearly takes someone's life.
There's no repercussion. There's no real justice. It's just loopholes and pivoting and maneuvering.
Now, Michaela Borrego's mother says she feels her daughter is the only one suffering the consequences of Polston's actions, pointing out her daughter spent 6 months in the hospital, longer than Polston has been behind bars. Meanwhile, Polston's attorneys argue that she's a great candidate for the law because she's completed that rehab, numerous prison programs, and thousands of hours of community service. They also say Polston's civil settlement of $5 million from Michaela Borrego provides lifelong care and symbolizes genuine remorse. Robin.
Well, DOC says it has followed protocol and treated Polston like they would anyone with this type of crime, criminal history, and program completion. She's set for release February 19th.
I want to take you back out to this breaking news on the southeast side of Oklahoma City. This is the location of this wreck, Southeast 29th and Eastern, a pretty bad crash. We're seeing a lot of damage to the vehicles here. Sounds like the ambulance is on the way. Our Brianna Brown is there on the scene as they have narrowed Eastern down to just one lane northbound. We're going to talk with her coming up right after this.
Traffic alert. Let's get out to our Brianna Brown. She is at a crash at Southeast 29th and Eastern. Brianna, what's going on there?
Yes, Robin. So we're here right at Southeast 29th and Eastern, where it looks like two cars did get into a crash here right at the intersection. Now, the ambulance is still here on scene. This was called out as an injury accident, but they are still here on scene. We haven't seen anyone get loaded up just yet, but it does look like two cars were involved. Now, they do have one lane of Eastern blocked off here, and then they also have those 2 lanes of Southeast 29th blocked off as a tow truck just got here. So they're working to get that cleaned up, but there is some traffic right here at Southeast 29th and Eastern with this wreck.
All right, thanks, Brianna Brown.
Good boy, Gunner! Get out of here! Get out of here! Get out of here! Good boy, Gunner!
Oklahoma City police releasing their video of a canine leading them to a carjacking suspect. He was hiding under the trailer. Police say the suspect hit the victim in the face with a gun during the carjacking, then stole his car. He came and hid under this trailer, but the canine found him. He was booked for robbery and assault.
And on the southeast side of Oklahoma City, a man is found dead at the same home where another man was shot by police. All of this happened on Monday evening right near Reno and Sunny Lane. Police say when they confronted that suspect, he refused to put the gun down and was shot by an officer. The suspect was taken to the hospital while police went inside that home and found that other man dead.
Well, as you're waking up this morning, we've been talking about it all morning. High fire danger. Just some tips to keep yourself safe. Do not throw cigarettes out of your car on a day like today. And sparks from even welding can start a fire in dry brush. And if you see a fire but don't see firefighters, go ahead and call 911. Don't assume someone else has reported that fire.
Despite the rising risk, there is only one county burn ban, and that is down in Cotton County this morning. County commissioners use specific criteria to decide when to issue those. A statewide ban can be called by the governor. We know at the Capitol, state lawmakers are now looking at possibly clarifying who issues burn bans when we're dealing with a wildfire risk.
And we know the Forestry Service already staged out west, Woodward, Guyman up in the Panhandle. That's where they're looking at potentially high winds and very high fire danger.
How windy is it going to be today, Lace?
Out in those areas, out west, talking Clinton into western Oklahoma up to Woodward, gusts over 60. In the Panhandle, we could have gusts to 70 for a while midday. In the metro, it's more of the 20 to 40 mile an hour range. Average gusts around 30, which is windy enough to cause a fire to spread.
And we're so dry.
We're so dry.
We need
Drought
the rain
conditions.
so desperately.
Absolutely. Everything is still dormant. I mean, we haven't started to green up. Once we get later into the year, soil temps get warmer, we green up, we start to kind of mitigate this threat. But we are in our wildfire season. Be careful today as you're heading out this morning. The sunrise is spectacular on our Lucky Star Skycam network. Clouds will hang around today, and we'll see highs close to record levels, upper 70s this afternoon.
Beautiful sunrise.
It is.
All right.
Hey, thanks for sharing time with us. The CBS Early News is next.